Today is Saturday, and Ross from TheWeeYarnCompany is hosting a crafternoon. Basically, it means the studio is open. You can come hang out, eat cake, have a cup of tea, hang out with the other people that show up to the crafts, and you have the option to buy yarn. I will be bringing my sock project, which if you want to know more about my sock projects this year, the entire year, it will have its own playlist on my channel. It is a challenge. I'm making 12 pairs of socks this year, is the short version. But this is my most portable project right now, so easy choice. Aiden and Misha from UndercoverOtter and NocturneStudio respectively will also be showing up to this event, which means I will be getting my order from last week from UndercoverOtter. Aiden is sweet enough to take that with them to save on postage. This will be 7 skeins of Squirm sock. This is also Squirm sock in the color Uncle Fester, which is a really dark gray. This is for some sweater projects that I've got planned. So I'll definitely be taking home 7 skeins of yarn that I've already paid for earlier. And I've got a bit of a shopping list in my head. And a budget, because the craft circle is at the end of this month, so I need money for that too. But, for today, besides be social, knit on my sock, the goal is get my hands on some hyacinth boucle and on some soak, which is a wool detergent, which is leave-in detergent, which is great because I currently have a wool detergent just from the grocery store, which I have to rinse out. And when I'm trying to block or wash my projects, it's kind of a pain. That's my prepared shopping list, but I'm definitely gonna have a look at the Dorcha and the art. Oh, Neo ran past. Cool. I'm gonna have a look at the Dorcha and the art shelves because that's on discount. That's being discontinued, but it's really pretty. There was a Merknen update recently, which had some really cool stuff in it. I'm just gonna have a look around, right? I might cave and finally buy a Harris tweed bag, but those are a commitment because they're kind of pricey. They are a fair price for how they're made, but they are a commitment, and I'm not sure I'm ready for that yet. Anyway, that's the plan. I will be grabbing my bag and putting this yarn on a mini minder for my walk there soon, and then I'll update you throughout the day. And when we get back, we'll be doing a little yarn haul, and I can organize my yarn storage a little bit, and that'll be it for today. Hi, hello, it's evening and I am home. Don't mind the wet hair. I was like super overstimulated when I got home, so I had to shower immediately. I'm also grabbing my blanket because it's couch time. I got yarn. We already talked about that. I was planning to get yarn and there was a yarn delivery. Let's do that first, shall we? So I got Squirm sock in the color Uncle Fester, and this is nice. I have plans for this. I know what I'm doing with this. There's 7 hangs, skeins, whatever, And I'm not pulling all of them out of the bag. I'm putting this back in the bag right now, actually. With that order, there was a little "Yay, thank you for ordering" note, and also a sticker. Spooky, freaky older guy. Very cool. And a little tester of a detergent, which grapefruit scent. I think I'll like this. I'll put it with my laundry stuffs. I was about to say I'll put the sticker on my tablet, but I actually use the tablet while teaching, and I shouldn't be putting spooky stuff on there because they already think I'm doing too much. Next, the planned purchases. Yes. Soak in scent Lacy, which smells nice. Most of them smell nice. I don't like the pineapple one. But no one's making me buy the pineapple one, so that's fine. I like this. This is a good scent. This is a nice soap. This is a decently sized bottle. I hope it lasts me for fucking ever, because it was also kind of pricey. Once again, I'm not complaining about the price. I'm just saying it's an investment. Then, the hyacinth boucle. I got four of them. See how this is a texture that I wanted to do something with. This is very interesting. Anyway, this colorway is called Paranormal Fagtivity. Obsessed. It's very nice. I'm not sure how well it's showing up on camera because it's bright as fuck outside, but when it's not bright as fuck outside, the lighting in here is yellow. I'll put a picture from the website up here. That's the best lighting you're gonna get, but here is it held up. I'll put pictures for the scrimsock too. Yes. 4 of these. That was the planned purchases. Yes? Great. And then I was also within budget planning to do a little look around, see what caught my eye. I did not commit to a Harris tweed bag yet. Who knows when that will happen? I'm assuming it will at some point. But I did spot a bit of art decay that I like. Originally I wanted to buy this colorway on this on the silk pucka, whatever it's called. I already forgot the name. I'm not well versed enough yet, I guess. A very fluffy thing, but I was touching it and I was like, I'm not ready to commit to that texture at the moment. It intrigues me, but not right now. So we just got Art Decay, which is trusty, comfort zone. And I've got 4 of them because that is a safe amount for projects in my size. And it's the colorway You'll Be a Dentist, which I think is from the We Shop of Horrors collection that he did at some point. It's nice. And this is also going back into my bag. And then there's more. Hello, Neo. Hello, Neo. First, there's a Neo. Winnie was at the crafternoon, by the way. That's so nice. I love Winnie. Little doggy baby. But Neo's also very good for cuddles and being a menace. Okay, right, so I have 4 more skeins of yarn, but I didn't spend money on these. This was someone's D-stash. So this is from FrogMouseStudio, I think. And I have no clue on any of the other details. I just know it's FrogMouseStudio or Studios. I will link it in the description, just like the other Dyers. And it's from a witch-inspired collection. It's very nice, blue-purpley. And someone was like, do you want this? And I opened my bag and I was like, put it in there. I love claiming these stashes. Especially because this person will be vending at the craft circle, so this yarn feels nice, I have to look at their table when they're there. So yeah, that's a full bag of yarn. Love that for me. This morning I said I wanted to organize my hand-dyed yarns, and I still do, but I'm not doing it today. I'm doing that tomorrow. And I will take you along for that, Neo, darling. Damn. I'm trying to record, Neo. She's going to try to lick my face any second now, I can tell. She always has to do that, like right after I've showered. She has to lick my entire face, and I am not a fan of it because the texture is horrid. But resistance is futile, right, Neo? Anyway, I will be organizing that tomorrow and taking you along for the process. So I'll see you tomorrow. I am tired now. Bye-bye. Hello, good morning. It's Sunday. Neo is here. She's casting healing magics to cure my battle wounds. She scratched me while I was trying to prevent her from eating a hair tie. So, you know, she's doing her job and apologizing properly because we don't eat hair ties, Neo. I want to organize, which means I'm putting Neo to the side and hoping she doesn't mess with my yarn. I have a bunch of yarn that is untouched, and I have yarn that has already been used for something. So, first I have these 3 cakes of Castellets in the colorway that came with a bag, and it was cutesy fun. I'm planning a blanket with this. I already tried it at some point, but I messed up and I couldn't frog it, so it's in Project Jail until I don't feel bad about it anymore. Right, and then I'm restarting. That's going into the already touched skeins basket because it's caked up. Then I have a handful of like scraps, really tiny stuff that I'm saving in case I want to use it in a project I have planned later. I'm planning to do a, what's it called? Beekeeper's quilt with little hexie puffs. And I think some of these are just like enough for one of those, and some of it might be enough if I combine 2 of them into one hexie puff. So that's in there for sure. And then the rest I've put back into Hank shapes because I have no clue when I'm touching it. So I have 2 skeins of Agnes Free Ply. This is the Faggot Duck, and this is Gandalf the Gate. I have not got all of the colors memorized. Do not expect that from me, please. But these 2 I had left over. These are like 80 grams each at this point. This is leftovers from a hexie cardi that I made. So that's going into the not full skeins pile. I got 1 partial, I think this was 70 grams or something, of Bonnie BFL sock on labradorite. This was the second yarn that I got from Ross ever. The first one was Agnes Free Ply on with the color Genderfuck, and I think I still have a partial cake of that upstairs. That I was trying to make a bandana with, but I never finished that. Then we have a worsted weight yarn that I made a beanie with, and then this is left over from that. No clue what I'm doing with this either. I've got 2 partial sport weight yarns. This is a yarn that Ross no longer carries, but I used this to make a shawl and I used this to make a vest. I'm just Tetrising this into the basket while I show you stuff. This is Singularity. I used that in the previous video to make the hood, the Exospine hood by Buffito Knits. And I did actually label this with how many grams and the name and the yarn type. Because this is the first one that I put back into Hank, and then I did the rest without labeling it. Then I have 1 skein of House. This is Skirm Sock. I used this on the sweater that I was wearing yesterday, and I'm going to use this with the Uncle Fester with the grey to make a Dark Academia sweater. I have more full skeins of this, so this is going in with the full skeins. So I'm putting it to the side for now. Then I've got these 4 colors of squirm sock. These are all from the Milk Mayhem collection, so I've made socks out of these already. I can see Neo messing with some stuff in the background, but I also don't want to get up to prevent her from doing that. Do we think this will work? Get out of there. Wow. Hi, Neo. So those are 4 skeins of the Milk Mayhem. I'm making another sock from this one, and then it's also going in there. And then the rest of the Milk Mayhem is in this bag that came with the yarn subscription. We've got how many more to do? Should be 7. Ooh, I'm definitely doing this one next. Okay. Right. These will all get a pair of socks out of it, and then I will figure out what I'm doing with the remains. I just said that I want to do this one next, so that one's going out of the bag. These are going back in the bag and then on top of this basket. Then I've got my mohair. Let's see, 3.5-ish. I keep my mohair with my hand-dyed yarns because that's where I use mohair. These are in awkward shapes, so I'm also putting them with the touched skeins. Okay, that's all of these. Now it's time to fix this mess in here. Ooh, right, this. I have no clue which color this is. I think it might be Ard. I got this from Ross as a little freebie because something's wrong with the skein. It's got like factory knots in it, and it was like, well, do you want it? And we're never saying no to free yarn, so I'm putting that with the used skeins because it's not a full amount when you actually use it. I have these little wooden balls that are supposed to prevent moths, so I'm putting those in on top of the one that we just filled. Okay, so first step, we have some NocturneStudio yarn. This is from the Queerdo collection from previous time. We have it on Agnes Free Ply and one on Spellbound. This is mine. This is to make another Exospine hood for a friend of mine, which should be a relatively soon project, so that's going towards the top of the bin. This is for a later project, so that's going in the bottom. I've got more Casta lace to match the already opened skeins. Is that all of it? No, there's another one. The Casta lace should also go toward the top. Then I've got the 2 more skeins of house that are untouched, with the one that is already started. That's going toward the bottom of the pile because that's a sweater project. I've got the sport weight yarns. Let's see. I've got 2 Pearson, 2 Doe, 2... I cannot read Ross's handwriting. 2 orangey ones and 1 grey one. The plan for this is to make a little jack-o'-lantern type design, which will wait until October, so also bottom of the bin. This is a sport weight that was discontinued, so I got most of it on sale, which is really nice. I've got my fade, which is for a Beetlejuicy sweater. Let's see, this is the first one, then this one, then this, like this. It's a holy shit fade, and I think it's, yeah, this shit hits the fan. Cool. I want to get to that relatively soon. And then the rest just goes on top of this. Okay, I almost forgot. We need to put the new yarn in there too. We've got 4 skeins of our DK. Okay, and then the Hyacinth Boucle on top. With all of the new yarn in it as well. This one is nearly full, but it's very squishy. And then this has the partially touched skeins and the unlabeled 4 and the next sock yarns that I'll be using for the
MILF Mayhem socks and my mohair. Very nice, very cool. It's going back into the Kallax shelf, and then that is my yarns organized. Okay, cool. My yarn is organized. My stash has been expanded a little bit, but I still fit within the confines of the space that I allotted for it when I organized these shelves. So that's a win. There was also no surprises in my yarn stash. I knew all of the skeins from memory, like what I own, which is also a good sign. Most of these have projects in mind, which is also winning. If you have project suggestions for the RTK, the white with the black and red, the one that I got yesterday, let me know. Because that's the only thing that I don't have a project in mind for at the moment. Well, that and my leftovers from previous projects, but that's a different beast. I know what I can get at the craft circle now. And I am very excited to work on all of these things over summer break. About a month, and then I get to actually do all of that stuff. But for now, I am in academic beast mode, sadly. Which I will be getting to now. I have things to do today, so I will see you next time. Bye-bye.